my physique, I want it to be, like normal, healthy body. Like, of course, if it starts to get fluffy and stuff like this, then I know, okay, maybe I'm eating a little bit too much, so I'll do a little bit more cardio this week. I'll go for a long hike. I will just cut back a little bit, but not weighing anything or anything like this. So if I can visually see, okay, maybe, but then I can also be like, maybe my period is coming, that's why I'm like this, I have water retention. So I'm never too harsh on myself, but if it gets to a point that I'm like, no, it's, not from the scale, but physically I'm looking bigger, I'll be like, okay, so maybe I'll just add a little bit more cardio this week and just watch and make sure that I'm sleeping well.
Hello and welcome. Today I'm here with Agatka, and Courtenay.
Hey.
They are both coaches, fitness enthusiasts, and very strong and powerful ladies. They also have a common kind of a past-present merge where Courtenay used to be also cabin crew for how many years?
8 years.
8 years,
yeah.
And Agatka is still on the same
10.
path.
Yes.
And 10 years there. I want to mostly talk about them and mostly going in a direction because I know that they have a lot of experience with different clients, but also with themselves about how to look at your body, how you perceive your body, putting some standards for yourself, and all related physical but also mental issues that can come with it. But we'll get there eventually. First, I want Courtenay to get a little bit of background of how you got into fitness. What was your sport what were your sports when you were growing up, and overall your journey?
Cool. So I always had a passion, first of all, for fitness, sports. I used to play competitive netball, so I love playing sports.
Competitive what?
Netball. Have you ever played netball?
Oh, netball. Okay.
Yes.
If you don't understand Courtenay, that's because she's
from
British.
Manchester.
From Manchester.
It's not easy for me, like being around you guys with all your different accents, but
Yeah,
I adapted.
Believe us, it's also for us.
Yeah, I always have the biggest problem with actually native speakers.
I know,
because
me
they
too.
just go.
No, honestly, if someone is from Liverpool or Scotland, it's a disaster.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
if I won't understand, I'll be like a representation of a general
population.
General population who can have a little problems with your accent. So
Yes.
I might stop you. Okay.
Thank
Go.
you.
Netball. Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to love playing competitive sports, and obviously the older I got, the more I would feel my joints, I'd be like, oh, my ankles, my knees, because of course when you're playing like for competition or, in front of people, you push yourself 100%. So that is when I went more onto the line of like functional fitness, bodybuilding, but it was purely focused on the look. And this is something that at the time I didn't have that much experience, so that was my focus. But the more I was into it, the more I was like, this is so messed up, controlling my calories, checking every day my body, if it's leaner, if it's more muscular. And it was just very unhealthy.
But when you said at the beginning that you wanted to kind of do this fitness because your joints were not healthy and so on.
Yeah.
But it ended up doing it for the looks.
Yeah.
And for the...
Yeah.
Just for
going to the gym, looking at all the other girls around me, thinking, oh, this is the kind of body that is healthy. And actually, like, that was complete opposite. Like, even though I was doing those, those exercises, I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel healthy. So
when you were doing netball and you transitioned to the gym, was there still a kind of objective of getting better at netball through the gym, or that was gone already?
Like, not starting to be cocky, but netball, like, I was 100%. Like, I felt like super strong. I felt like the gym wouldn't help me be better because I was already very fast. So I just went to the gym to just try and slow things down, more time under tension, and just mix the training up a little bit.
Okay, so it was like kind of accessory to it, but not necessarily working out in a direction to make your sport better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what age was this, roughly?
Probably around 18.
Mm-hmm. 18, you start to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And what was going on there?
So after some time, tracking the calories, training and all this kind of stuff. My dad, he saw this ad in the newspaper, and I actually knew nothing about it. He applied for the job that, my first job in Dubai as a cabin crew, he applied for me. He, I hope they're not watching now, but he filled in the whole application form. And yeah, because I was just like stuck in a rut in the UK, doing the same routine, with the same people, with lots of bad influences around me. So my dad was just like, you know what, this is going to be a good, fresh start for her.
And may I ask you what means bad influencing? Like, did you meet people who would go into the direction of alcohol or partying too much or not eating healthy?
Yeah. So in regards of like eating healthy, that wasn't really, like as a kid, you just eat whatever the hell you want. You don't really care. But in terms of alcohol and drugs and all this kind of stuff, it was huge in Manchester. And the people that I was with, you know, that was the lifestyle. And getting a bit personal now, but I was in a long-term relationship, and that was just something that, you know, we did. And I even jeopardized my whole schooling and education for this reason. I was with someone who was extremely wealthy, so we could afford to live like such a lavish, awesome lifestyle, travel, go out on the weekends, but I just neglected my education 100%. So that is something that I do regret. And I'm so glad that I left Manchester, to be honest, for that reason. So I can now focus on myself, my career, helping people, bettering myself, educating myself.
So that basically your dad kind of twisted the whole direction 100%. Of your life, yeah?
I'm so grateful. At the time, I didn't want to leave Manchester at all. I had my friends. I was very young. I was very immature. But now, like, wow, my life is 360, and I don't drink. Of course, I don't take drugs, and my mindset is so clear. I'm so healthy. I'm so happy. So it was 100% like the best option for me.
And how was the shock? Was it the big shock coming from such an environment?
Oh my goodness.
When you didn't even want to come in the first place, right?
It was really challenging, to be honest. Like, when I arrived, I started comfort eating. I gained so much weight in the space of like 2 months. I probably gained around 10 kg. So even my uniform wasn't fitting me properly. I felt so uncomfortable because before I'd always like naturally had quite an athletic physique. But since coming to Dubai, those first few months, because I was so unhappy and alone, I was just like eating cereal every single day.
You were eating what?
Cereal.
Like, well, like, I mean, it's not the best, but I can imagine you can go way worse.
Yeah, that was more like
emotional eating.
Yeah, just like there's nothing to do. I don't know anybody, and yeah, so my like comfort was eating basically.
And how you got out of that?
So after some time, I got a coach, but the coach was still pure bodybuilding at the time, because I saw her physique, I saw her body, and I was like, I want to look like her, you know, her body is amazing. So we started training together, and then naturally...
Was it like a bikini fitness coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
IFBB.
Yeah. So we started training together, and same thing, you know, like counting the calories, cutting my food, and of course I changed my physique, but I still didn't feel like happy. You know, why do I have to keep checking the mirror every single day? And she kept wanting my weight, and we had to keep checking the scales, and then she got the calipers out, and I just think it's so unnatural. And I mean, at the time, again, like I was still very immature, so I was still like easily influenced by people that I thought were super influential to me.
Well, you made her a role model, right?
Of course,
and you were spending so much time together outside of job. That was your friend here as well.
Yeah.
And you were looking up to her, following, and not really thinking for yourself.
Exactly.
When this came, as you said, like the look at your face when you said like she pulled out the caliper, like that's giving you anxiety still now.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I just think like, why are we measuring body fat? You know, if you physically look healthy and you are healthy, why do we need to measure of course I understand like in medical terms, but if you're a young girl and you look good, do we really need to get out the calipers?
Well, then the question would be, and now I 100% understand what you're saying. I'm just a little bit of a devil's advocate here.
Yes.
What is looking good?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how all the what it's called, food intake diseases. What it's called? I know I have still in my mind the
Anorexia
Czech name for it.
bulimia?
Yeah, like anorexia, bulimia. It's like the whole category of the
eating disorder.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, like the food intake disorders, right?
Yeah.
So this is the basic for all of it.
Yeah.
Constantly not being happy with how you look, right? So where does it stop when you're like, okay, well, this is good enough. Is this good enough?
Yeah.
Or do you put an arbitrary goal where you're like, okay, so I'll do this for 6 months, but what after? You still need to keep doing something if you want to keep the change permanent, right?
Yeah.
So what was the journey for you like?
So actually I was getting a bit excited because I could see like my quads were growing and my body was changing, and I was getting to a point where I was happy, and I was working super hard. Like I was training very, very hard. Like I would scream during the training because I would push that much, you know. I didn't care what I looked like when I was training. I full on turned into beast mode. But then I was thinking about doing a competition, and then I found out about all like the drugs and stuff like girls take in order to look that way. And I was so upset and so shocked because I was training so hard, but still my body, it wasn't looking like those girls on stage. You know, I wasn't vascular, I wasn't super lean, and I was starving, you know, I was so hungry and I wasn't prepared to eat less, to be honest. So after finding out that, I just lost my passion for bodybuilding and this kind of stuff. And then I started doing CrossFit.
But that's actually very interesting that you didn't need to go through, like many girls do, through that bad experience of actually going to an absolute limit of possibility. Yeah. You just saw like,
that's not for me.
That's not for me. Like this is way too, I like food too much.
Yeah, food is life. You know what I mean? So how can I cut anymore? Come on, I'm on 1,400 calories a day. You know what I mean? It's not enough.
And you are fairly tall as well.
That's sustainable. Also, if I may add anorexia and bulimia, they are more, the eating disorders, they're more about psychology than...
Well, yeah, of course. Like
it's like they have to control something. So I don't think Courtenay had any problem with that, right?
No.
No, I didn't mean that she...
Yeah, so she didn't go that extreme.
Yeah.
Thank God.
The thing is that all of these eating disorders or even behavioral disorders starts with you not being happy with something about you, right? It's called body dysmorphia, I believe. And that's when guys are looking at themselves in the mirror and they always see how skinny they are, even they are like the buffest guy around, you know, and they still, and it's opposite of bulimia because girls' standard is lean. Yeah, if I generalize it, and then the guy standard is big, right? Yeah. And when they see something different in the mirror than reality, and it just starts to go into that loop because then even steroids, nothing's enough. You know, and you see them, you're like, oh, fuck, like how unnatural this is. And they still think, no, I need to add more. Like just talking to these people, you know that there's something not really right.
That's true.
So 100% psychological. Just when Courtenay, when you were at this stage, how long was this kind of bodybuilding?
I had like 2 years in Dubai, I would say. Mm-hmm. And so after when I found out this about the supplements and the drugs that the people were taking and less food, I just thought like, it's not for me. You know what I mean? I could not, even I was always quite on the opposite side. Like I was cheating a little bit. Like I would always have more rice. I'd always have like more like dark chocolate, more oats. And my trainer
all carbs.
Yeah. And my trainer would be like, are you sure? Like you're sticking to the diet? And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, it's not me, but literally it would be like 10 grams more. You know what I mean? Like nothing. And honestly, that's not happiness for me. So then I started doing CrossFit, and then I realized like the feeling I would get after a workout, because it was so challenging and so varied, I would feel absolutely awesome. Like the blood would be pumping, and over some time, like physically, my body just naturally got into the shape that I wanted, and I wasn't even focusing on the body. Like that was the last thing. My mind was just like, you know what, I want to train hard, that's it, and I want to be able to eat healthy and eat what I want, and that's what I do.
When you kind of like dug yourself out of this hole, right? Like, okay, so you went from being not in the right path at home, then you came here. It was overeating because of stress, loneliness, whatever it was. Of course, again, psychological factors, right? Then you went into training obsessively because of the role model coach you had. So like from extreme to extreme, back and forth. What do you think was what were the switches? What was the switch that you go from, okay, I'm like very unhappy where I am right now, and you go to an opposite extreme that makes you unhappy?
Yeah. So it was, to be honest, during lockdown, I was like, I have like two options here. Do I stay at home and eat and become even more unhappy, like what I was like when I first came to Dubai, because I didn't know anybody, I was always in my house? Or do I do something about this? Like, do I become the best version of myself and use this as an opportunity to actually like relax, train and learn and educate myself? So this is exactly what happened.
But this came like just out of nowhere, this kind of thought,
Yeah, I mean, I was just so sick of like looking at those images on Instagram of those girls. And when I found out, honestly, I was very upset when I saw that in order to look like that, they took all these drugs and stuff. So honestly, after that day, everything changed for me. I just thought everything is a lie.
Absolutely. Like the Instagram and social media, for sure. Like we see it every day, and especially the presentation of how they look, how they try to present themselves. And do you know who is Liver King?
Yeah, I saw just recently.
So I want to talk about
Do you
this.
like it? I'm sure you like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
The thing is that I'm kind of split on this. Okay, it's on Instagram. He's a Liver King, whatever, add Liver King. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy, he wrote some guide of nine ancestral tenets which you're supposed to follow, and I'm like, theoretically 99% I agree with him. Like, sleep on the hard surface, be on the sun every day, have a connection with the earth through your barefoot, walk barefoot, eat enough protein, and like of course Liver King, he's also eating a lot of raw and not really cooked meat, but high quality on the other side. And all of this is like, I really agree with what he's doing. I actually started to do liver myself, raw liver. If you are okay with it, I mean, go for it. It's not for everybody, for sure. But I just wanted to know how it feels. I feel very okay with recovery and stuff. Like it's giving you all these nutrients. It just need to be frozen over 2 weeks, so it kills all the potential bad stuff in it, like bacteria and all of that, because you eat it raw, right?
Of course.
So it's in a freezer for 2 weeks, and then I kind of, I pull it out, then I freeze a new one, and I just cycle it. What is my problem with the Liver King is that, and now nobody with a little bit of fitness experience can argue how juiced he is. Yeah. Okay. So his body is insane. He's 44, I believe, 40 plus years old. And even he would be doing what he's doing for 20 years and eating the way he's eating, training the way he's training. There's no way he would look that way naturally. So this is my problem with all the Instagram, that you see it in a CrossFit as well. I don't want to pick on anybody particular, but there will be a lady who was top 10 for sure, maybe top 5, couple of years in a row on the games, super accomplished athlete and gymnast, and then she will release her Have Abs Like Me program. Yeah. And they do 20 minutes of like crunches and side planks. I'm not saying that's not hard, and I'm not saying that's not going to help your core, but she didn't get there where she is doing that, but she's selling that, and that's my problem. Also, Liver King, like, go for it, sell it, or whatever his reason is, because I'm not sure if he's making any other money than just, maybe he's building up to really some brand or something. I don't know. The thing is that he's still way, way, way different than he would be if he's only doing what he's claiming he's doing. And that's my problem. It's, you don't see the behind the scenes. And as you're saying, like, you're looking at the Instagram, everybody's life is perfect. Everybody's life is like, oh, wow, you only see the snatch PR, not 15 failed attempts when they were trying to do it, right? So yeah, that's creating
false advertisement.
Yeah, pressure on the normal people who just wants to be healthy because
And also the FOMO effect, like fear of missing out. That will happen to me when I had my hip surgery and I was laying in bed and I was scrolling. There was nothing else to do actually, because I was back in Poland in my village. So when I was scrolling, I'm like, oh God, I'm missing so much. People travel and all this stuff, and I'm just here like miserable.
Yeah, that also happens to athletes, right? Like they're out of injury and they go fucking crazy when they see all their competitors still training and posting and this PR, that PR, and it's like, fuck, I can't even walk.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, so yeah, for sure, this is, we were designed evolutionary to meet and know 150 to 200 people in our lifetime.
Wow.
And you go online, you meet 100 times that. Yeah. You see their kind of lives, which is not really their life, but it's just what they present it to be. And then no shit that you were disappointed when you kind of like opened the door and we really saw what is behind the scenes, right?
Yeah. One more thing, like I used to post, if anyone follows me on Instagram, they'll see a big difference maybe with my posts. Before I was always training in like sports bra and showing my body. And like the more mature I get, the more I'm like, why do I need to keep showing? You know what I mean? Like if you have abs, that's awesome, but do I need to keep showing them? Do I really need to keep putting it out there and proving to people like, yeah, look at me, I have abs. No, I don't. And I would never want other girls to feel like, like they have to do that. So maybe for the past 5 months, 4 months or something like that, I've just I'm not allergic to cotton. I can keep my t-shirt on, it's fine. So I've been wearing my t-shirt and I'm still alive, you know what I mean? But I am in the CrossFit industry, I don't know, as soon as they do one burpee, straight away the t-shirt's coming off. And yeah, it's not always necessary to just keep showing the body, keep putting that image in people's faces.
Yeah, I understand, especially with the CrossFit culture being a lot built in California, and also the games were 10 years, not sure, 7 years, for sure 7 years.
Yeah.
It was always in California in summer, right? So they were putting their shirts off on the games, and probably also people who were training in that area, like it's hot, you put your t-shirt on. I'm completely fine with putting, if they want to put their shirt off, but at the same time, it can be as much encouraging as discouraging for some people. I remember there was a huge controversy a couple of years ago that one of the games athletes, in his gym where he was owner and possibly coach as well, they banned booty shorts and they banned training without shirt.
Okay.
And then the first thing he did the next morning, that he was training without shirt on his own training. So that was the controversy there. If especially here, we are used to it, right? I was told first thing when I came to Dubai, no shirt off during training. When you do it when you are off hours, maybe in the gym on your own, whatever, nobody's around, but you're not allergic to cotton, and if you are, use a different material.
Also, I think if you're coaching in the same gym, and as a woman, you want people to respect you as well. Like the gym that I work at is very local, so I have so many local Muslim ladies, and I want them to respect me. You know what I mean? So also. Yeah, I just feel like if you work there and it's a bit awkward, you know what I mean, having a conversation with someone in a sports bra.
So, I don't know. So
yeah. So this was why just recently I thought, you know what, I don't need to keep showing my body. And
a couple of times in past 2-3 weeks when you mentioned this, it happened to me that I seen people, ladies, on the street, walking their dog in a sport bra and leggings, which at least I thought, and it was definitely a couple of years ago, unheard of. You would never do that. It was more closed community, so it wasn't downtown and stuff, but still why you need
to show?
Why you need to, you can go sand tanning to the pool with bikini and it's not going to...
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think, Agna?
I think people will get intimidated on one hand, but on the other, they can also get a bit motivated. But then in what level they get motivated?
But it's become very normal because of Instagram, you know? And you don't really realize until you take a step out of the situation. Like obviously living in Dubai, going to certain gyms where the vibe is different. There's certain gyms in Dubai you will go and you'll see girls in tiny, tiny shorts, tiny bra. And yeah, it's just crazy for me sometimes because once I've stepped out of that environment and I'm in a gym where everybody's covered, it's like one extreme to the other.
Yeah,
you know?
You can literally have fully covered lady with a girl who's in a sport bra and booty shorts on the same class, right? Like that's insane. I think it's also the kind of globalization, right? Because when you are on the Instagram, you see people from all around the world. And for example, I believe in Florida, it's very normal. There's the guys in shorts, girls in sport bras and shorts all the time. Like
I just did the workout in Miami. We had to take the shirt out. Sorry, guys, but it was
Don't be sorry. If I saw her, I'd be like,
I don't think guys were sorry.
Impossible.
Of course.
Impossible.
Yeah.
No AC.
So it was So it was gym with no AC in Miami.
A huge fan. Yeah, huge fan.
So it's not that I'm against like wearing the sports bra or anything like that. It's just about promoting it. Do you know what I mean? Promoting like wearing like nothing on Instagram. This is something that I'm a bit like.
It also depends because you can see, or at least I would say that you can see an intention of what angle is the picture taken from, you know, like, are you really trying to like just say something? Yeah, show the exercise, or you sharing with, why would you need to share a thought right after workout when you're still sweating in sport bar? But whatever, you do it. But it also is dependent on what the angle phone is. So what is it showing? What is it not showing? And like what the deep intention behind it is sometimes very obvious, right?
Yeah, that's why I get on with Agna so much, because I feel like we have the same mindset. Like we go to the gym, we're not there to like impress anybody. We just want to go do our workout and do an awesome workout and motivate each other.
That's what impressing people, you know.
Yeah, and you get mature, more mature the more you do it.
Guys, how did you meet actually, two of you?
So first of all, we were doing a flight together to America.
Chicago.
And I saw Agna and I was like, wow, look at this body. She definitely does CrossFit. So I saw her shoulders and I was like, we're going to get on. And I was dying to talk to her. But
her shoulders gave it away, yeah?
In the
she was
briefing room,
I was like looking at the shoulders and I'm like, we can train together on the workout and the layover. So this was like my first impression. And
also we had to make an introduction. The boss of our crew, the purser, she asked us, please guys, introduce yourself. And she started, I'm the personal trainer, please go ahead. And everyone in the room was like, oh, I'm doing this and that. And then Courtenay was like, guys, I resigned. I just got my coach. I'm going to change my career. I'm so excited about it. And then everything was like, the vibes changed completely. I'm like, yeah, I'm also a personal trainer. Excuse me.
Yeah, like she forgot. And I'm like, you're awesome, you know? And then when we were on the flight, we just started lifting stuff. We were like, you know what, forget the flight. Let's just lift some stuff. We started doing like sandbag squat cleans and with the toy bags. And yeah, we just
had fun, and we would only talk about CrossFit. Who do we know? What do we like? And then even in CrossFit, Courtenay organized a session in CrossFit Rise. We would go together, and it was like, you know, when you get the dog out of the leash and he does like whatever crazy stuff he wants. That was us in CrossFit Rise.
We like just owned that gym. We walked in, we're like, we're going to do everything. Let's do it
all the movements
that
possible.
happened to me with you as well. And we're not training together anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh my God, do you remember?
I remember. I was sore for a week.
Was you?
Because I thought when I gave you a suggestion to like destroy our legs that we'll do one set.
No,
and they're like,
come on.
Oh, let's do 4 more. You know, so for me, that's just like unnecessary volume, excessive, like way too much.
But you know what I was going to say when I met you, like today, the first thing I wanted to say to you was like, of course I miss you, but my glutes and hamstrings and my core, they miss you much more. Like, because you get them like fired up. Seriously, you know?
I'm happy to hear that. So when you said you met when you resigned.
Yeah, it was my last ever flight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about this because after you resigned, you went to work full time.
Yeah.
And out of basically being on your flighting schedule, which is like completely messed up, sleep is messed up.
Yeah.
Food intake is not regular, or at least not as regular as we would like to. Circadian rhythm, not even there.
Yeah,
and then you came to the gym where you had a certain routine, but it still didn't make you really where you wanted to be. And you actually gained weight, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So that was such a challenging time in my life because I was so excited. You know, I had all this passion. My passion was always people. I'm like, finally, I found a path and a way to help people. And I get so fulfilled from helping them. But from my experience, like working, you know, I say 6 days a week, but it was like 7, to be honest. So I was working 6 days a week, morning and evening, and giving like to the clients, to the classes I had to study. And the environment that I was in, I don't want to say anything too negative because like the people, I love them so much, you know.
That's fine. It's not also...
It's a learning curve.
I don't want to now blame you or anything.
Yeah.
it's not also only on them because the thing is...
Yeah.
We see this all the time. We were there. Simon was there. I was there. My brother was there.
Yeah.
And we coaching now close to 10 years. Yeah. Simon is 10 years only in the stuff. So he's like, you know, and we all seen it so many times over and over when you have a new coach who is coming from a different background and they're like, oh, wow, like I'm actually making impact. You know, that feeling of, wow, like I do what I like. I do training. I train people. I explain how to move, what to feel, etc. Basically, classic coaching, right?
Yeah.
You do what you like. You're helping people. You feel so good about it. But then there is this trap that so many times we see that people burn out because of that, because they want to do so much. It's like a dopamine shots over and over when people thank you for that, and when you see they improved because of what you told them, and you just have this cycle of I want more of that, more of that, more of that. Yeah. And at the same time, you're learning so much, which is very demanding for your brain, because you're learning through the experience, but you also want to read some stuff. You're asking more experienced people around you, and you just get to this super overwhelmed state, which in a combination of the system you were working on, it was just a recipe for disaster. So.
Yeah, that's so true. Like it was just, I could not go and just like, I could never, I don't know, I felt like defeated in telling someone I was tired. So I was physically and emotionally like drained and so exhausted. But I felt like it was, I would fail if I would say I'm tired, you know, because I was so grateful for the opportunity that someone believed in me and gave me such a big opportunity. So I was like, no, I want to give 100%, and everybody here deserves 100% effort from me. So I was giving everybody everything that I had. But then, you know, how long can that go on for? You know, I was so exhausted.
We exactly know how long it went for.
It was the year.
Yeah. And roughly a year, right?
Yeah.
And then...
So I gained weight because I wasn't training. You know, I'm a coach, but I have no time. There wasn't like any energy or time for me to give to myself. And
just for all people now who think it's calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
First thing you came to me, I remember that because you came to me, we can talk, and you told me you are in a calorie deficit on your meal prep thingy. So it wasn't like you didn't know, you exactly knew what you're getting. So you're in a calorie deficit, but you're so overwhelmed and so stressed that you're still gaining weight.
Yeah.
Which was like, well, that's where we started to go into like, well,
what's going on?
It's not right when you have to wake up with a cold shower into your face for a couple of minutes just to wake up, right?
Yeah. So because I had no time to even cook my food, I ordered like a food plan company, and I was like, you know, I'm not having the time to train, so let's go with actually I was on 2,000 calories, which sounds like a lot, but I was burning so many calories working and coaching and running around. So I'd probably burn like between 2,800 calories a day to 3,000. That's what my watch was showing, which is so much, you know, from not training.
I mean, even with all the unprecise measurements and faults that these devices can have, like that's a significant difference, right? Being on a 2000 and going close to 3000 on a burning. So,
but just like the accumulation of lack of sleep and then this kind of stuff. So it was very unhealthy, and I felt like I saw other people. Sometimes they would go to work and not give, even like with our job, they go and they're not really there. They're just there to tick the box. But I feel like especially like with Agna as well, like we go and we give 100%. So I thought, you know what, I have to leave because I didn't have another job, but I thought like I cannot go and just stand there and just be average. So it's better for me to leave and just focus on myself and recover and then just find out how else I can help people in which other direction.
But now you're also very busy.
Yeah.
You have clients, you're running between 2 or 3 gyms?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, two gyms like permanently up and down, right? What is the difference between being there and now also being very busy, but on a different term? So what is the difference that makes the difference?
So I feel like because it's different scenery, so I work in 2 gyms and I counted today like 16 PT clients. It's so much. But that's why I liked CrossFit. That's why I like training. That's why I like exercise, because it's so varied. So now my life is varied. It's not the same routine every single day. I get different energy from one gym. Then I go to another gym. It's totally different energy. It's more strongman focused. The other one's more CrossFit. Then we do some functional training. It's more... I just think for my mental health, I needed change. I need variety. I need to do different projects. I can't just keep doing the same thing every day. I just found I wanted to be able to grow and develop as a person. And I feel like now working for myself, because I'm a freelancer, I can just spread my wings a little bit, have my take on things. And I just feel so much happier, even though I might even be a little bit more busier. But I just feel like mentally, it's like much more rest.
But it's on your terms, as you said, right? That's a huge difference, which I've noticed on myself as well. Like since I went on my own and quit the gold box that time, I was way busier. Yeah. After. But I'm not dealing with bullshit of other people. I deal with the bullshit I want to deal with. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like it's not just like shit thrown on you.
Yeah.
No, sometimes it is, but it's still within certain boundaries that you set, right? Because if you say you want to be in bed at 7 p.m., regardless of how many people want to train at that time, you can do it.
Yeah.
When you're working for somebody in a gym, you can't. You just need to take what's there.
What's given to you. And I find like one of my weaknesses is, I don't know, I feel it like hard to have like mean conversations or, be nasty. So I just felt like now I don't have to answer to anybody, you know what I mean? I don't have to have that conversation of like, with my boss or anything like that. I can just work hard, work well, and I don't have to answer to anybody really. And I perform much better like this.
And when you say you don't like hard conversations, how was it during the cabin crew? I can imagine that's hard conversations all the time, no?
They are hard conditions at all. And what we learn, what we've been through is professionalism, I would say.
Yeah.
Don't take that personal. Because people, when they talk to you, you're in the uniform, they talk to uniform. That's what you put in your mindset. So I think that's like a defense for yourself, for your own personality, for your own mental health as well.
I feel like as well, like with me and Agna, it changes us because, of course, many times you go home and you burst out crying and you're like, why was he so horrible to me? I was so nice to him. And it makes you strong because it makes you like think, he must be so unhappy.
Exactly. And like what you start thinking is like, it's not me. It's the person that comes to you. He's unhappy in life. He went through something that you have no impact.
And there was one case and this guy, honestly, he was so rude. And the girls, they were all talking about him in a nasty way. And I was like, but why is he rude?
Was it in the
flight?
In the flight, yeah.
So I went over to him. I thought, you know what? Like his rudeness was too much and I was leaving. So I'm like, I'm going to ask him, you know, like maybe he's not okay because this cockiness is too much. So I was like, is everything okay with you? You seem like really distressed. Like, did anybody do anything like to hurt you? Because, you know, we have a 16-hour flight and we don't want any problems. So is everything okay? And he's like, no, everything's not okay. You know, my son is in the cargo and I'm taking his body back to his home country. So of course, you know, his head is like gone. So there is always a reason, you know. But I feel like with me and Agna, even though we might have a reason to be upset, we never show, especially not at work. Like that's what my old job taught me, to always remain professional.
But sometimes, especially to keep the sanity, right? You need to vent out.
You need to get it out.
So do you use training?
You have each other.
We have each other. Okay. And we have the sandbag. So the sandbag, it helps, honestly. We have the sandbags.
I remember one episode, if you remember this TV show, like TV series, CSI, Las Vegas. Yeah, so there was, and it's actually from the like airplane environment. And this was based on true story, where one guy was killed on board.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that was their case that they were solving there. And they kind of like got in the plane, they start to, you know, like pick up all the clues and everything, interrogate people. And then they were just sitting there on the crime scene, and kind of each of the member of the team got assigned a role of one of the passengers, because it wasn't one person killing him, it was a group effort, you know. And the leader guy, he was just like watching how all these other are talking to each other. And she's like, yeah, this lady, one of the killers, and she was mom as well as I am. There was one of the criminals saying, if I have 2 kids on the flight with me and there is a guy who is like aggressive and annoying, I'm going to stand up and protect them no matter what, you know. And each of them kind of like role played their reasons why these people did all of that. Yeah. And then the leader of the team was like, yeah, but you're just forgetting one simple thing, that nobody asked him why he is this way. Yeah. Everybody jumped off their position, like, yeah, I have right to protect whatever it is in this moment, and it ended up killing the guy, but nobody asked him why he's wrong. So that's why exactly what you said, the example with the guy who was obviously distressed in that situation, right?
Yeah. I mean, so like now I feel super lucky as well, because I get to train children, and you know, they're very sensitive. They all have different needs. Even I train people with autism, so it's a totally different training, you know. And those kids in a different environment or a different class, their behavior is different, and people they don't understand. So for me, of course I love training and things like that, but it's more about individual people, giving them what they need. Maybe they don't need to do like a super heavy, you know, why do they need to do clean and jerks? They don't. Some people, they just need an hour of like movement, whatever that might be, and care. Number one would be care.
What is the setting you are doing the autism training with? Like, is it a group of people, or is it individuals, or?
So what happened was, like, one of the girls, she was in normal classes, but it was very distracting. You know, she definitely needed much more attention to detail with the exercises. So I just said to the mom, you know, it would be really awesome if we could do more of a one-on-one kind of training. I've been training her for 2 years now. And she moves very, very well. But still, when I try to integrate her with the classes, it's never successful. She prefers one-on-one coaching. So yeah, this is how I got into it, just from experience with the classes.
So it's not like a group of people with autism. Yeah. I remember that we had one guy back in Goldbox, and he came, and he was a teacher. He came one day, and he also got, as a side job, he was somehow tutoring, mentoring a 15-year-old boy who, because of whatever circumstances and differences he had, like he didn't leave house for 15 years. And this guy, as a part of process of integrating him, he brought him to the class, which wasn't the luckiest thing to do, but at that time, luckily we had a policy of multiple coaches on the floor. So I took him on the side. The other coach was leading the class. I took him on the side. I even had an intern there with me. So there was two of us on one of this guy.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But that was very difficult because he freaked out on an eye contact. You know, like he was. You found him doing like the most random shit. You know, like the PVC pipe that is like empty from like a tube, you know, empty from, so he would put it into the chalk and then blow the chalk all around. And that you didn't pay attention for 5 seconds. This was already happening, you know? So yeah, I can't even imagine having a group of them. There was two of us on one and we had the problems because we didn't know him. He didn't know us. He didn't trust us for shit because that's not what they do naturally. Right.
Of course.
So it was taking some time, but eventually it got very much better. Great. We still recommended him not to come to the group classes.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out.
It does make it good because in my previous gym, we had one boy as well, a different boy, a little bit older with autism. And I would always take care of him in the classes, but luckily there'd be two coaches. And then if I knew he was coming, I'd be like, okay, this is for him. I prepare for him so I know. But if you look around the gym and if you do have someone there with special needs, the CrossFit community is already awesome, but the vibe is amazing, you know, like they bring them up, they're very encouraging. So I know it can be challenging, but at the same time, it does make for an awesome class.
Why do you think is that on the CrossFit class, it's like that people really bring the weaker ones up? Or maybe not, weaker is just for the lack of better words, but you know what I mean? Like less performing people are always not put forward, but they are helped a lot and supported a lot. So why do you think is that?
I think because CrossFit's never easy for anybody. Like whether you're experienced or not, it's still challenging. You know, if you're doing the RX or the scale, it's still hard. And in order to be an RX athlete, you still have to start at the scale. So everybody knows that pain, and there is pain. You know what I mean? When you're trying to get your toes to bar and you don't have it and your hands are all torn, we know that it's not easy. So I think, from experience, you know the pain, and this is for sure the reason.
Yes,
what do you think?
Yes, and plus people who don't perform that well, they might have also some needs that they have to, like the coaches or people around, they need to address. For example, mental support. If you tell them, please go ahead, like, yalla, go, encourage them. That's where you put the performance at the top.
I'm just thinking about all this because, you know, that also comes to how people perceive their body. And I had this experience a couple of weeks ago where one lady told me that she's not coming to my strongman class because of, by the setting we have it, you know, because we don't have a sled for everybody or yoke for everybody. So we take turns. And she said, like, she's not coming because she doesn't like to be supported and clapped for. Like, she doesn't want to be the one who has attention.
I know, I'm not going to say her name, but I love her.
Yeah, she's great. And
I understand, like,
but at the same time,
where she's coming from.
She's very good athlete.
Yeah,
you know, like at the same time, she's not like somebody who would crumble behind the group. She would probably dominate the group at the end. So it's just very interesting how, regardless of how well you are objectively, that your subjective perception is just going to change the attitude completely just because you don't think that you're good enough, or you don't think that you want to be looked at for whatever reason. Even she might be the one who can be bragging about her performance, but on the other side, she's no, like, I just want to be here, do my work, done. You know?
Everybody's different, aren't they? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you need to go individually. Introvert will not perform the same as extrovert and will not appreciate your pushing as much.
And like, one of the reasons that I loved learning from you so much is because you really focus on feeling the muscles and knowing your body. Whereas some people, if they've had an extremely stressful day at work, they just want to come and smash a workout, you know. But it depends what they want from the workout. You know, some people, they just want to go on the assault bike and die, and others, they actually want to learn. They want to really engage the muscles. They want to have that connection.
How I'm looking at it, like I try to make it as simple as possible. So the thinking element of it is really put to the minimum. So even though my goal is for you to do squats the way that you feel your ass, it's for everybody. You know, with some people I might talk a little bit more, with some people I might talk a little bit less, because I will just tell them like, okay, you just want to do it. Okay, don't go heavy, just smash the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And they can put their like, you know, boundaries off, not thinking about anything, and zone out the same way or very similar way that they would do on the assault bike. Is just what I believe is problem with people who just wants to zone out is too technical movements, which we are avoiding in strongman. You know, like of course I'll give you some pointers what to focus on, how to plan the food, and you know, like just don't do it wrong.
Yeah.
But when you have to push sled from point A to point B, way easier than to do overhead squats. You know, technically, way less thinking involved, and you can smash it as much as you like.
Did you guys watch the newest Maverick, the Top Gun movie?
Not yet.
Okay, so I won't maybe spoil it. But there
Tell me.
Okay, there was
spoiler alert. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. So there was this sentence that stuck in my mind when there was a special operation Tom Cruise has to do with another guy, his wingman. He said something like that, like, forget about thinking, do not think, just act. And that's when he went zoned out, and that's when they did what they had to do. I won't tell you what, but
okay.
exactly what you said. This is the key.
And I would say that you have even like two paths towards this, right? The one path is, which was their case, most likely, because there was a high skill, you know, the skill is repeated so many times that you can afford not to think, you know, like it's just automated so much. Like the podcast I had with Douglas, which was, he was
military guy.
20 years in military, like him, he was my shooting instructor on some courses I took back home. And like, when you saw him doing it, he was commenting, doing step-by-step procedure of, you know, whatever manipulation with the gun. He wasn't even thinking. You know, it was like just so automatic, because he was doing it for 20 years. And then the other path is that the task itself is so simple that you don't need to think. And that's where I'm trying to go when I don't know the people or their fitness level is very varied on the class, that you can't really put the same demand on everybody, but you can put the demand of effort same way. Yeah. Not technical demands, but demands of effort can be put there. So it's either you mastered the skill and you can allow yourself not to think and just execute, or the skill is so low that you don't necessarily need to think about it at all and just do it. Yeah. So, Courtenay, I wanted to, well, both of you, I want to ask you, when you were talking about that, we were talking about that body image, like how to be happy with yourself. Like the answer would be probably very obvious, right? Just do what feels good, and the classic CrossFit, how you feel, how you perform, and how you look. These are the only things. No numbers attached, no objectives of I feel the best at this weight. You don't know what weight you feel best at, and especially weight is super fluctuating. So that's just one of the examples. But how can you, because you were so many times up and down, you know, like gained to a point where you didn't like it, then you dropped, then you went to a fitness level you didn't like, or performance level you didn't like, then you gained again, and then you went to working intensity that you didn't like. How you think, or how do you regulate this, that you know, like, oh shit, this is too far? Because sometimes it's not just like self-reflection, right? There are some signs that are coming. Yeah.
Well, since I left my old job and started my new job and freelancing and just thinking about my own health, like my mental health and stuff, I've managed to stay exactly the same weight, which I know sounds crazy. Just like the past 2 weeks, I was doing a strongman competition.
By the way, congratulations
Thank
to
you.
winning that.
Yeah. So my intensity in the training was less, and I was very chilled, and like if I wanted to have some chocolate, I would have it because I'd be like, you know what, it's going to make me stronger. So only the past 2 weeks did I really not do what I usually do with my training. So I gained like 1 kg, but who cares?
Well, do you care when you know about it?
I don't.
You know?
I was just, when they weighed me before the competition, I was like, right, whatever. I was like, because I feel the same.
Yeah, but sometimes especially for such an event like strongman, right? Like being heavier can be, mass moves mass.
Yeah. So
to a degree.
Yeah. So I just feel like, of course, I don't eat huge portions of rice. I'll just put whatever my body needs. I feel like I've got that experience now where, I don't wear any watch to track my calories. I can feel my body. Same with the food. I can kind of manage the intake on if I've had an extremely active day or if I haven't really done that much, which never usually happens, but I can track it.
Also, when it comes to, because we are ladies, we've got our period. And for example, my experience is it's okay to have a little bit of fat around the belly. It's okay to have a little bit of fat there and here, because that's where you get healthy and your period will be on time, right? You also, as ladies, I like to look at the training as which phase of the period we are in, like follicular and luteal. So in the middle, you also you will get the ovulation on the 14th day, and you will get your PRs and everything. But that's exactly the day when you can get injured the easiest. This is when your estrogen and progesterone are at the highest levels. But then the first phase of your period, the follicular, it's when you can really push. So now I also like to look at this and not only about the physics. I know that after 14 days after ovulation, my body will change. I will be a little bit bigger, meaning
you're holding water, right?
You will hold water. You will feel like you want to eat chocolate than your boyfriend as well. So
your boyfriend wants to eat chocolate, or you want to?
You will eat the boyfriend, but not in a good way, in a aggressive way.
Aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, this is super interesting point, because I was kind of looking at this as well, especially when I had ladies who I was programming for. Of course, the level of body fat, I believe for ladies it's 12%, and under 12 you start to lose period, and you already can have medical hormonal problems, right?
Yeah, I also met one trainer on board. He's also crew and part-time trainer, and I asked him what do you do with the clients? He showed me a picture of a lady. She's very lean. He's like, I give her 1,000 calories. I'm like, is this sustainable? He's like, I don't care. It's just 3 months. I'm gonna rip her and that's it. We will take a nice picture, put fake tan, and I will be happy. This is
that fucking Instagram thing we're talking about.
Exactly. So this is the Instagram, and I think me and Cord, we evolve we mature so much, because before we would look at the Instagram physics here. But then now when I look at it, it's how this person moves. Does she has period? Does she sleep well? Can she go to parasympathetic state? Can she relax? Can she recover?
What about her joints?
How is she coming on board and then yell at the crew without a reason, because this is where it all comes from, all these factors.
What is crazy about the guy who is giving his client 1,000 calories, that he's not fucking up himself,
exactly.
And the lady trusts him, and she thinks that's the good thing because she's looking certain way. But this is also, there is one company, and I don't care what.
There are two.
RP Strength. Yeah, RP Strength. I follow them. They have amazing transformations, and I know that Simon followed it. And the only thing I asked, but How
fast is the transformation?
3 months.
I believe it's 2 to 3. They have different programs, I think.
Depends on.
You know what happened there? I downloaded the app. I subscribed. I downloaded the app, and they're like, okay, log your first meal of a day, And it didn't allow me.
Did you put your cream?
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, 2 pints of full fat cream.
I put half a liter of heavy cream there, and they're like, you cannot put more than double of your all fat intake for a day as a one meal. I was like,
I just did.
Shit, no, I couldn't. Like, it couldn't log in.
Oh, wow.
You know, I couldn't even physically log it in. So I was like,
this is when he was at his peak. Like,
I was like, how do you want to help me?
I need to fuel my body.
And I was doing it out of curiosity, like what the app will tell me. And this was what app told me. So I deleted it and game over. And then I was asking Simon, like, how did you do it? And he followed it like very precisely. He even showed me pictures. He had 6-pack, which is, I mean, he's super fit, but 6-pack is not his normal. It's not his standard. Because he doesn't feel good when he's at that state around like under 90 kilos. He will start showing 6-pack, but he's not feeling great. So he's at like 92, 94 and happy, awesome. Right?
Yeah.
But he showed me the pictures and I was like, so how were you feeling? And he was like, I was training so I can eat.
Yeah.
Because the app will tell you how much activity you need to get another meal. So he was just training like crazy so he can eat. And of course, not sustainable. Like you will eventually, even you love it for 3 months. Like, okay, if you love it for 3 months, do it for 3 months. But don't expect that you will be able to love it for longer because all the processes will kick in and you are done.
Yeah, and you won't be able to like keep getting better. You know, your body's in shock, so it's changing because it's something new. But if you keep doing the same thing, it's just going to get to a plateau.
And of course, malnourished, prone to injuries. And then when you already have to train, so you eat enough, then when you can't train because you're injured, what are you going to eat?
That's so
like,
true.
Yeah, no heavy cream for you.
And then again, it's
I thought when I walked in today, I was waiting for this jug of cream. I'm like, where is it?
I still have a couple of liters in the fridge.
Is it cow's milk or is it some weird camel milk?
No, it's
a heavy
normal.
cream.
It's just heavy cream from normal thing, like
normal animal.
No, I don't even think they do camel milk heavy cream. But if they do, please,
I'll send it to you. I will.
I want to try it for sure.
I wanted to just mention, like, this girl recently, I don't really ever come across confrontation, especially on Instagram. So this girl, she messaged me saying like, first of all, in the beginning, she was very sweet. She's like, you're so inspiring and like, you're amazing, like very, complimentary and all this kind of stuff. And she asked me for advice on training and stuff. So I gave her a little bit. And then I saw like one day, like, wow, she's lost so much weight. But from all the experience that I have, I could tell that she wasn't eating. I could tell that body was not from the gym. I could tell that she wasn't eating anything. So I never actually commented saying like, wow, great body, because deep down I can see and I can feel like this is not natural. So she messaged me saying, I cannot believe that you've not said anything about my weight loss. And I said, like, can I be really honest with you? I said, because I can tell that it's not in a healthy way. I said, I can tell that you've like not been going to the gym and that you've just not been eating. And she's like, oh my God, can you tell? Does it show? How dare you say that? And
of course she will flip.
She flips.
Because she doesn't see the reality of it. She sees how much effort it's taking
into not eating,
to starve, So for her, it's like, oh my God, I'm trying so hard. And that was free opening.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Bubbles.
So
So unfortunately,
so this is the problem. They don't. It's never going to be like, you can say it in the most possible polite, nice. You can come from the most honest, I want to help you place. It's never going to be taken well because that's not what she wants to hear. I had this a couple of times lately. Also, people coming for advice.
Yeah,
but they don't want to hear what I have to say.
The truth, yeah.
They want to hear that what they are doing is right. They just want the confirmation of what they are doing is right. Well, tough shit, because if it's not like, what...
I know. Yeah.
People rather would go for a quick fix rather than to find something sustainable, like over a year.
I would say that most people, but I also know many people who are very, and you attract the same kind of, because if somebody's coming to you with a quick fix,
you won't even take them on.
Yeah, you don't take them on. You're not willing to do what they are asking just for the sake of doing it, but you rather offer them a different way. And if they don't agree, they go their own way, and
then they're unhappy, and they will say, "Oh, this trainer is not good."
Or they find some other trainer who will do it for them because there is enough of it, right?
Yeah.
So, there is many people. I have to say that basically everybody who I am coaching is on a very right track of perception of what is realistic, what is not, and what is sustainable and what is not. But it's only because we talk about it all the time, and they eventually
change the mind.
Some come with it, some change their mind, and the ones who stayed are this way because that's my way of doing it, you know. And as always, like even for CrossFit Games and all that, that's not sustainable. Like professional athletes, it's not sustainable. That's why they earn so much, so they can earn and then retire when they are 35 or 40 and be set for the rest of their life, because the body is probably going to get some solid beating by that time. And normal people who wants to do it for health, like one step at a time, one walk at a time, one workout at a time, and you shouldn't really shock the nervous system too much, because you don't need to shock the nervous system too much. Yeah, like from time to time getting some crazy idea and getting some a little bit harder than normal workout, like that's fine. I heard of a guy who somehow he was like he was in 50s and he was after surgery, I believe it was a knee, and he was just on a bad place mentally as well. And he was like, you know what, I'll start biking. And every day he pull out his bike in front of his house and did one circle around the block. Putting bike out on the street and back into the basement took him longer than the actual bike ride. But he said himself that he will do it every day.
Yeah.
Neighbors were like, "The fuck you doing?" So they only saw him one lap.
He's like, "I'm done."
Yeah, if it's in US, you are already suspicious pedo or something, because like this is not a normal behavior, right?
Was he? But he had pain.
Well, he wasn't doing it because he was in pain. He said it for himself, but he was feeling like doing that only.
Okay.
Like, this is all I want to do right now. And then suddenly, one day, he was like, it just came to his head like, okay, I'll do more. And then he went a couple of more laps. And eventually, he was doing 180, 250, 300 kilometer trips without ever being sore.
Wow.
Ever. Because he built it so progressively, and over that 4 or 5 years it took him, he got to a state where he never shocked the nervous system, he never shocked the muscles too much, but eventually got super fit. Because if you can go 300 kilometers trip on the bike and come back and be like, well, fresh. I'm fine, fresh, and I feel good. Like, he basically said that he was feeling after that 300 kilometers the same way he was feeling after that first one block. He just got it super, super slow and progressive, which I think this is a definition of longevity training, right? Yeah. If you enjoy smash yourself and being sore all the time, like, okay, but again, it's not going to last forever.
Yeah. And as a coach, that is something that's frustrating, because you'll see in the classes, people, they just want to keep smashing it, and you just really want to like give them that knowledge from your brain that longevity is like the best, most efficient thing. Like, what's the point in killing yourself now in this 20-minute workout when you can build really strong muscles, amazing lats, strong knees, strong joints, and have an amazing life, you know what I mean?
And sustain it for lifetime.
Yeah, like, does 20-minute workout is worth of 1 month not being able to train properly because of injury, niggle, this. Yeah. Julian from StrongFit, he said they calculate, I don't know who they refers to, but maybe he did it, or maybe he read some research about it, but basically there was a calculation done, and you can get 5% better within, this was within like strongman, powerlifting, CrossFit environment. You can get 5% better a year just by not getting injured. Because, like a little flip on the wrist when you do something overhead, okay, you can't pull too much. You also have to, it's nothing big, but it's a little thing that will slow you down. If not stop, it will at least slow you down and you're not going to be able to train as you want. And just by actually stepping down that tiny effort of like, oh, I really want to, just don't push. Like, you should not leave every training completely destroyed. You should leave like, oh, fuck yeah, I can do more. I can do more, and then you leave.
Yeah, I had this experience in Metalize. I think 2017, I was a member there. There was this local guy, he just PR snatched, and he's like, okay, I feel it, I'll go one more time. The trainer's like, please, that's your PR, leave it. He's like, no, I feel it, let me go. Boom, shoulder dislocated.
No.
And he was off for like 6 months. So
one
perfect
rep, right?
example.
3 seconds,
3
done.
seconds.
Sometimes, like, that's why I like working for myself, because even still now I don't have control over all the programming and this kind of stuff. So if I come up to work one day and it's written on the board at 6 a.m. in the morning, like 1 rep max deadlift, my heart just sinks. First of all, like 15 minutes is not enough to warm up for 1 rep max heavy deadlift, like
if you have 1 rep max heavy deadlift, that's the workout of the day. Like, you shouldn't do.
And then you have a metcon after.
Yeah, no fucking way. No,
it drives me crazy sometimes.
Timea sent me yesterday. She was on her way to a gym, and she sent me the screenshot of the program that she was handed 10 minutes before the class was starting. And there was like shit ton of like 3 different parts involving altogether, no kidding, at least 7 movements.
Like pistol, handstand push-up.
Well, not that much. I mean, there were some loaded squats, there are loaded lunges, but the level of people who she's coaching there, and she needs to go through that movements. It's not like when we go and we say front squat and everybody knows what they're supposed to do, right? So, and the same. What I would tell you, like, fuck it, don't do it. Like, if somebody will come there and tell you like, why did you do this program? You can have a speech for an hour telling them why not, because you know why not. So if you do it out of that you want to undermine them, that's not a good reason. But if you do it for a reason of actually thinking it's not safe, it's not good, and this is not going to go well for people, and they will benefit way more from the training if you keep it super simple. Like, there's no 1 rep max deadlift. First of all, I would never do this on a group class. Like 1 rep max, no, like do 5s. Do 5s, maybe 4s. Like, okay, but that's way unnecessary.
Because like I learned from you and Phil, like I owe so much to Phil, like his way of coaching, and he obviously got that from you. So like the way I was taught,
I don't want to take
you're
credit
so
for
funny.
this.
I knew you'd say that, but I was taught like the right way, the correct way about caring about people's movement. And I just wish that everybody had the chance, to at least train with you, meet you, train with Phil, meet Phil, so that they can get those fundamental really, because if my journey was different and I had gone to another gym and been taught by another coach about CrossFit, my vision would be so different, and for sure I would be injured right now, and I would be telling everyone, yes, smash it, go heavy on your overhead squats, do this.
Or you would have been already coaching games athletes right now. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, but
it can go both ways.
My goal is not to coach games athletes,
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I would rather coach
But I want to ask you, because you said you said to me before that you are getting a little bit busy classes.
Yeah.
How is that going?
So again, like, because it's not my gym, it's not my vision, I just cope with it to the best that I can. But I don't feel good inside coaching a class of 20 plus people. Especially it's not my program either, so I don't feel 100% like, I leave feeling this is the best that I could have done and managed the situation. And like, I was going to speak Arabic and say hamdulillah, but
what that means?
It means thank God.
Okay.
That everybody is okay, But I feel like, the class should be capped at maximum 15 people, and the program should be about building strength so that they can do all these kind of movements. But yeah, some of the classes, at the weekend it's fun. It's great to have huge community and easy movements.
Like endurance.
endurance.
Yeah, but this was always when people started to do like the Smash Saturdays or hero workout Saturdays. I mean, I still think that many hero workouts are way too.
I was going to say, what about the ring dips and all this stuff?
Yeah, that's way too much anyway. But if that's supposed to be done, it needs to be well managed. You need to have more people around, and you just need to supervise it. Like, I know this was a big topic on different platforms that went over a couple of years ago, I believe, when a couple of people from CrossFit directly, they were saying and claiming that having a group class to a PT doesn't make difference for them, because if you manage the floor and you manage the people correctly, then they can all have same experience. Well, I very, very much disagree with this, because the experience can be good, the experience can be even great, but there needs to be, it's never going to be the same as a PT.
Of course not.
If the PT is done correctly, right? However, the main thing is, if you have group of people, even 20, who you know, they are your members for 3 years, they don't have any injuries, they don't have any movement problems, then you can get very close.
Scenario.
Yeah,
That
perfect scenario.
Never
happens. You have always somebody who brings a fucking cousin,
They never did CrossFit before.
Yeah.
The shoulders
They're
gone.
When was the last time you had a class or group of people where nobody was injured? I'm having PTs and it's not happening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
This would be awesome if this would be something that would change, like CrossFit, they would say maximum, if you're an affiliate, you cannot have the class with more than 15 people.
Well, the model is mainly based on we are not telling you how to do it. So they're keeping this up to freedom. Of course, level 1, level 2, level 3, they're there for a reason, and you get all this education, you get all this knowledge to know not only how to efficiently manage the group, but also how many classes a week should you coach. Yeah.
Nice.
To cap it for energy levels. How many classes a day? How many classes back to back is recommended? Like I remember this Cherry Chen, which is like a legend in CrossFit. I remember on my level 2 seminar, she said, you cannot coach more than 20 hours a week, because you're not going to provide quality. Like, it's just not going to be there, because it's not, and now not to offend anybody, and there are very hard workers, of course, in the offices as well, and very productive people. But when you need to constantly walk, talk, show, demonstrate, your brain is just running overtime just to, okay, how do I fix this? How do I make plan for this person? What do I tell them? It's not like a normal working hour. It's so demanding for energy, right? I can't imagine when you told me you had 28 people on one class, you can't coach.
I know.
That's not even a coaching. It's just a chaos management, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is, because and it's not fault of that people.
Yeah. And then I feel so overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, all these people they want to come, and but at the same time, I want to be able to give them an awesome service. And I'm sorry, and they're amazing people. But come on, it's too many people.
Yeah, but you can only give them that level. I
will say one thing. If you coach this amount of people, you can eat whatever you want after. This time,
back to food.
You can have more rice.
Yeah, you even get I used to have it, especially on these events when there's so many people watching you organizing. You remember the closing of the year, closing of the open workouts, and when there was 40, 50 people, and I was getting rush to my face. I couldn't calm down for a couple of hours after, just how
it's
driven
just
you are.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it's about everything, equipment, if it's working properly, about your members, about the programming, about who's coming, who's new. So much going on.
Yeah.
When you mentioned equipment, I was just thinking about, in these big groups, you have also...
You don't have enough equipment.
Not only enough, but it's very dangerous to use any, even med ball can be dangerous at that setting because it's just crowded, overwhelmed space. So Courtenay and Agatka, what are your standards for your body? Like, what are like kind of markers you are trying to follow so you not only feel good in a feeling wise, but you also feel good about yourself, how you look and so on, because that's part of it, right? Like, nobody can tell me that they're training and they don't care how they look. I mean, I would believe that 1% of top athletes, maybe that they don't care, but everybody does it for looking and performing certain way, right?
So maybe based on my injuries, because that's the biggest impact on my fitness. I always would work around my hip. I would focus on my weaknesses. And when I feel the best about myself, it's not when I was the skinniest. It's not when I had, like 6-pack or I had a certain weight. It's when I was feeling the healthiest, meaning you have your period on time, meaning you feel you're strong, you feel you have no pain. So I think a big factor in here is also pain. Mm-hmm. To sustain it for a long time and also inspire another people because they watch you in the gym, the way you move. Of course, I want to move the best I can. There is this... there is Dr. Boyle, I believe that was his name. He made like a chart of which joints are the one who are stable and which one are the one that's supposed to be mobile. Yeah. So based on that, if you work on that, then yes, your body will change. It's like functional patterns. As soon as you get the basics, the proper base, your body will follow and the physics will be your byproduct rather than focus only on the physics, like track your calories, don't look at the recovery and all of this. So this will be the byproduct of what the base is and what you focus on.
When you said that joint by joint approach,
exactly.
Yeah. I'm not sure about who came up with it. The name I probably know, but I never had it connected. When I remember one lecture though, where one guy was presenting it in a way that core as a concept doesn't exist. Like the core doesn't exist. It's all about how we make how we look at our joints, how we are making them work.
Yeah, like to make like a checklist, let's call it.
Yeah. So basically it's always flipped, right? You have ankle supposed to be mobile, knee supposed to be stable, hip mobile. Yeah. And then you have lumbar spine, lower back stable, thoracic spine, that's mobile, neck stable, shoulders mobile, elbows stable, wrist mobile. And you basically need to kind of, as you said, checklist, balance, all of that. So it's very cool that you basically, because of your experience, because of the pain you went through, because of the discomfort, and because also of the lack of functionality you experienced, you basically changed the standard. And it doesn't really matter, 1 kilo up, one kilo down.
Doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, doesn't matter at all. But yeah, the feeling healthy.
Yeah, the feeling. And as soon as I don't move for a week, I don't go to gym, or I just, I have holidays where I only do hiking, then I feel pain. Either if it's a hip joint or lower back, that's when it comes. But as soon as I get to the gym, movement is the doctor for me.
Nice. Courtenay, do you have any checklist for yourself? Standards?
So yeah, I don't look at my body in particular and think, I need to train shoulders today. I do follow like a push-pull legs because I believe that if I have strong muscles, I feel good, I move well. I focus more on technique. I would rather move super amazing with a sandbag or a barbell than, look at my body in the mirror and be like, I need to look like this. I focus more on my training. And like I said, the moment I stopped focusing on my looks, that was the best that my body looked. You know what I mean? The moment I forgot about it and focused more on moving well, feeling my body, being strong, this is what changed everything for me. Okay,
then I will dig into this a little bit.
Yeah,
because you kind of answered.
Yeah,
but I really, because as we probably can agree on, you want to also look certain way.
Yeah.
So, because then if I ask you, okay, so let's imagine that you have the exact same performance when you feel the best. You feel strong, you feel functional, you can operate your body in all possible ways. However, you would have 10 kilos more.
Yeah.
And a belly fat, a little bit bigger ass than you want, and so on. Like, where is that limit?
Line.
Because you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm fine with that, right?
Of course not. Yeah. So I like to have like my physique. I want it to be, like normal, healthy body. Like, of course, if it starts to get fluffy and stuff like this, then I know, okay, maybe I'm eating a little bit too much. So I'll do a little bit more cardio this week. I'll go for a long hike. I will just cut back a little bit, but not weighing anything or anything like this. So if I can visually see, okay, maybe, but then I can also be like, maybe my period is coming. That's why I'm like this. I have water retention. So I'm never too harsh on myself. But if it gets to a point that I'm like, no, it's, not from the scale, but physically I'm looking bigger, I'll be like, okay, so maybe I'll just add a little bit more cardio this week and just watch and make sure that I'm sleeping well, just watch my food a little bit. And it just always goes. I mean, that's why I feel lucky for the past year that I've managed to maintain the same weight, because I just feel like I know my body now. But so of course I don't want to be 10 kg heavier, but I want to just look healthy and, let's say, like athletic.
Yeah, so you're not measuring it by how many likes you get on the pictures?
Definitely not, no. But if you wear a sports bra, you'll definitely get more, which is the sad thing.
Also, if you...
I can try it, but I'm not sure.
You should try, yeah.
If you look into only like body image and the way you look, it's great. Okay, it's a starting point. Why not do it for your physique? But if it's not functional, if it's not sustainable, then you start realizing this is not for me. Let's change something. And I feel and I think if person comes to you and asks you, oh, I want to look certain way, you always ask why. Yeah. There's always this why. So there is different types of motivation. Maybe someone will have external motivation, someone will have internal. The internal is the best, the one that will sustain, and then the one that will last for a long time and will be healthier, rather than doctor will tell you, oh, you need to do that, because if you don't, you will fall into more. Or
because I want to show my ex that I can do this.
Exactly.
I remember one girl I met. She was from Czech Republic, and she enrolled to study. She was studying education, like a teacher for kids and some special education. And she enrolled to a faculty of sports studies and somehow became like a distant classmate of mine, because her brilliant boyfriend gave her as a Christmas gift pills for weight loss.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So you know how to get the
right
heart
guy.
of the girl. What the fuck?
One thing I will say is I feel like when you reach a certain stage with your body, like I feel like we have a nice body, we have a good body. And so we're at that point now where it's like we already have like what we wanted, you know what I mean? So I understand people who maybe they are like quite overweight. Of course they want to lose weight, they want to look at their body and they want to be slimmer, but like us, we're all healthy. So for us, like the main focus is, because we're not really unhappy with our bodies, are we?
Yeah, but my biggest thing why I'm digging into this so much is that I would like to know if there is something what you would recommend how to get to that position that you are happy. Like, because you were not always happy with your body. And I understand that now it's like, okay, if I feel like I'm gaining a little bit, I will adapt my training. If I feel like I am losing too much, I can eat more, whatever. Okay. Like I understand that you go by feel, but so many people so many ladies, guys as well, are pretty much disconnected from feeling. And that's why they tend to take that picture as a way more important metric. Or weight or whatever. Because if somebody has a need, for me, if somebody has a need to look at the weight and measure it by that, then they don't feel where they should be.
Exactly.
Like they are disconnected from that. So how you got there, or how you managed to get to a point where you are right now?
So I feel like just from consistency, consistently training in a healthy way, and Yeah, eating. I mean, my food that I eat is very boring, but for me, I enjoy it. You know, I have rice, chicken, beef, oats. I have the same thing every day, but that's what I
Cereals?
enjoy.
No?
No, I have, but I make the oats very delicious. Oats, protein powder, almond milk, dark chocolate. You know, I enjoy my food. So yeah, what was the question? Sorry.
How you got to
consistency.
Yeah, I would say that that's a super, super important point that I would probably...
It takes ages. You know, it took me a year to be consistent. No, to learn.
To be consistent.
Yeah, to learn how.
Not to get where you wanted to be, but to be consistent.
To be consistent. And I mean, I don't believe in these quick fixes at all. I just believe in a healthy, happy lifestyle with training and healthy food.
You also, Paulo said something about needs. So you need to start from that. What do you need? And from there, go to motivation. What will motivate you to get what you need, what you want. And I wanted to say something. I forgot.
That happens.
A good question to ask ourselves is like, what motivates you? Like, because some people, they will say, oh, I like to watch these girls on YouTube or... but what motivates me is actually the members, like seeing them train, seeing them progress. I'm like, that's awesome. I want to do that. I want to train. I want to progress.
I think also what can help a lot from what you can see is to kind of build that community around it where you have, because some days will be tough. Some days will suck, right? Yeah. But if you have somebody who will push you and who will tell you, and it can be between guys, it can be like, get out of the bed, you lazy fuck, right? Because that's coming from the love. Yeah. Because they care about each other and they support, because it's form of support, right? Of course, you don't want to get it to a point where it's blaming the other people for being inconsistent or whatever. But that community of people building each other up, it can be
motivating.
Yeah.
Make it a habit. Like you brush your teeth, you would go also work out, move your body.
I wanted to ask you because Agatka, you started to talk about this before, and I think it's very interesting because not only guys as a coaches don't know about it, but also girls as an athletes or fitness people are not really following the menstrual cycle as a guide to how to work out. So can you just explain the basic theory of it? I know you kind of hinted it and said it already, but can you repeat it so it's very clear? And then tell me, each of you, how you are doing it yourself.
Yes. So menstrual cycle, it's 28 days. For some women would be up to 40. Depends on the estrogen and progesterone level. Depends also on recovery, on fat, and many factors. In the middle of that, day 14 or that would move also to a little bit later stage if your cycle is longer. You have ovulation when estrogen and progesterone will hit the roof. Let's say they're the highest level. The first phase, it's called follicular, the first 2 weeks, where your estrogen level will be high. That's when you have a lot of energy. You can go, you can smash the gym. You will have high performance. Your recovery will be amazing. You will feel like a goddess. Then the ovulation comes, and this is when I read scientifically proven is when you are at your peak, but also many women, they get ACL torn exactly on the day. Like it's most probable.
So the performance is on the peak,
but
you feel the best?
You are more prone to get injury. And then after the ovulation comes the other... the second phase.
Follicular.
No, follicular is the first one.
Luteal.
Luteal, thank you. Luteal phase, when you will get a little bit more progesterone, but then the estrogen falls down.
So this is at the moment
before your period.
Where you get the period,
Yeah,
no?
before your period.
Before?
Yes.
So the period is at the day what? Day 0?
The 28th is the last day, and then on the first day is the period.
Okay, so basically when you get the period, that's the
day number
luteal
1.
phase.
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's a follicular already. That's when, so the first 2-3 days of your period will be when you feel very weak and stuff. But then you have this from day number 3 up to 14th day up to your ovulation. That's when you feel the best.
Okay. So there's like a slope down and
slope
then
down
it peaks
will
up.
be also the second phase, and about a week before you will, not you, Paula, but the ladies will feel their weakest. And water retention, and they will not perform as much. And also recovery will be quite tough on us. That's when we have to focus more on like long walks, active recovery. I don't know, like swimming, playing with sport, like not as impactable as CrossFit, for example.
Okay, so if I'll summarize it, and now stop me if I'm wrong. So I would just keep it on a very simple timeline, 0 to 28. Okay, so day 1 to 3, that's your period.
Yeah.
That's when you get your period. You're not probably feeling the best. Your partner is not feeling the best as well. Yeah. all that goes with it. And then from, let's say, day 4, 5, it starts to go up to 50, up to 14th, up to day 14. You just like feeling great. That's the time where you're supposed to get more strength training. Then that's where you can like really push yourself. Of course, depends on other factors as well, but generally speaking. And then on the 14th day, you have the ovulation, and that's when the estrogen drops, and you start in day 15, 16, 17, and so on. You don't feel that great. You feel more vulnerable. You might be having more water retention, emotional. Yeah. And then you basically, at that moment, it's better more going for maybe like more longer sustainable cardio activity.
Cycling or something, yeah.
Yeah. So do you follow this, or you just really go by feel? Like, okay, you feel like training hard, you train hard regardless of what stage it is, or how do you approach this?
Personally, for me, I always would feel the PMS. I would always feel, okay, this is not the time when I should push, and I will feel it, okay, this is the day I want to go for a walk.
That's the 14, 15, 16 day,
that's the after, before a period.
Mm-hmm.
And you will feel, we will feel it. We will
that's the thing.
But
like, I have a hard time talking about this because,
But every period is different. Like sometimes, like the last one, I was like, oh, thank the Lord, this is amazing. It's the best one because it didn't last, like it wasn't affecting my life too much. Whereas then another month it comes and it's like the worst. And you're just like, I wish I could stay at home for 4 days, but you cannot, you have to work. But then also because I'm so busy, I'm like, I only have like short periods of time where I have time for myself. So I'm like, this is the only opportunity that I have. So what does my body want to do? I don't have time to go for a long cycle. So I'll just do what I feel like doing. And then I won't be too hard on myself either. If I don't train, I'm not going to die. It's fine.
And your body will also tell you that by showing off acne, by belly cramps, by fatigue. By not sleeping enough.
Sleeping is affected.
Sleeping is also affected. Like you had an alcohol the previous day. For me,
can you?
And
you
we're
guys,
also
I think you have it quite bad, don't you?
Can you see it on your boob? Because I think they also started to
they
do
have
this
the
feature
menstrual,
now.
You burn more calories as well.
Oh yeah, because the metabolism's in overdrive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. There's like a daily diary.
The journal.
The journal, and then you just you can just pick if you're menstruating.
It's hard to gauge as well because I'll have some ladies that are like, oh, today is like the worst day of my period, but then maybe I've never experienced what they're going through. You know what I mean? So it's very hard because every single woman is so different.
Nice thing. Okay. Yeah, I think this is so neglected, especially when you're looking at the pro athletes, because it's just go.
Imagine doing the games like on your period.
I mean,
what the hell?
I don't know how many of them actually have period there. Because it might be at the point where they're not getting it regularly.
I'm also not talking about the contraceptive pills because that will also change some.
Yeah, I've seen this. I actually believe it's on the Integrit Podcast Instagram page where I posted it with some other stuff, where it's like a chart how your hormones looks
Joanna, with Asha, you were talking about it.
Yeah. So how the chart looks like when you don't take the pills, and how the chart of your hormones looks like when you take the pills. So there's no day-to-day fluctuation. It's just same. And yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
That's not great.
I don't take anything like that. I don't like to. I think it's so unnatural to take a pill to stop something that is supposed to be part of your body.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, many people choose to do that, and I also know that you can have like a plaster or something like that, right? But it's the same principle. It's still hormones.
You just don't have to take it every day in case you forget. Or
I don't know.
Okay.
There's a plaster. Yeah. That's cool. There used to be like
there is also gel, but this is more for women who are already in the menopause and they maybe had some endometrium overgrowth and they had to get everything removed. So
yeah,
I remember when
that's when the skin will get so dry and they will age faster if they don't take estrogen.
Well, that's the also problem with the arthritis. Sorry, not atherosclerosis. That's as well, but that's different. Arthritis when after women in a menopause, because the estrogen drops, they're way more prone to having calcium depleted from the bones and therefore weaker bones, more prone to injury, broken limbs and stuff. That's why you need to mechanically load so the muscle shakes, pulls on the tendon pulls on the bone, and when the bone is pulled on, it's stimulated to create more structure. So that's why like light jumping, jogging, it can be very, very, just for that impact perspective, very beneficial for ladies in and after menopause.
This is somehow external motivation from Paolo for all the ladies.
I know. All the older ladies come to Paolo.
It's a fact. This is a fact. What you do with it,
It's up to you.
Yeah. I wanted to also ask, I want to say one crazy thing that, as you said, that you don't understand why they are taking pills. I met one lady, that time girl, like really, I don't know if she was even 15 at that moment. And it was kind of like a trip that we all took together. There was a full bus of us. And she was saying that because she was going for this 2-week trip, she started to take pills on purpose. So she delays
the period.
Yeah. So she delays her period for 2 weeks. But I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know how painful it was for her. I don't know how much impactful that would be for her life. But I just found it super crazy that you just like stop something which is for some reason very well established for your body to be happening, and then you just take it away because of a comfort at the end,
So imagine her priority at this time.
Yeah.
It's more important. You put it on a scale. It's either health or something like you wanted to stop for 2 weeks just because, you're going on a camp or you're going to play some sports.
Like whenever I go back home and I talk to people who, like, of course they went to uni, they've done things, but I feel like I'm much more educated on health, what's important in life. So when I go home and they're having these conversations like, I'm going to go to Dubai and I'm going to take this pill, it's just like, I just find it so small-minded to not look at the bigger picture. Like everyone's focusing on like right now or next week, but what about when you're 60, So because my mom, she has so many like disabilities now, it's something that I see and the struggle, and I never want that for anybody else. I've seen the pain and I've seen how important your health is. So, when I hear these conversations, I have to try not to judge because some people, they haven't had that open mind to study and to learn more. And not everybody's met you, so they don't know, all the things that and you spread your knowledge to us. But it is quite frustrating when you hear that girls are doing stuff like this, to be honest.
May I ask you what problems does your mom have?
So she had cancer a few years ago and the tumor was in her spinal cord. So when she woke up from the surgery, like it was very scary, to be honest. I'd come all the way from Dubai and she didn't want to see me. She told the doctor, like, I don't want Courtney to come, which is very bizarre because me and my mum were like best friends. And I was like, I'm coming in the room. And then when I went, my mum, bless her, like she was in tears because she couldn't feel like her legs or anything. And she'd only just woke up from the surgery. So like, I'll always remember that vision. And then afterwards, like she has very weird sensations in her legs. And because of it, she has osteoporosis and she has to take steroids. And her body is like not how she wants it to be. And every day she's in pain, you know. So, and when she sees my videos of me lifting weights and stuff, she's just like, can you stop? You know, but I tell her the worst thing you can do is nothing, you know, it's good. And everything I do it safely. So I just, honestly, that is my focus. Like, forget the looks. That's why I say, like, it doesn't matter what you look like. You really have to focus on the health of the body.
It's interesting you said something about paralysis, because I also have experience. Before we went for snowboarding, one of my friends, he fell into accident. That's when I started like, okay, let me move for this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Movement, like the ability to move, is a blessing.
Big time.
It can be taken away from you in 1 second.
Yeah, I have this friend and ex-client in Czech Republic. Like, he's straight up fucking crazy. Like, he will do whatever he will set up. He's working 16 hours a day because he has a very successful and very unique company that he's leading. But he will always find a time. He would come, like, you know, winter, -15, snowing, and he will come on a bicycle across the whole city to see me. And when you look at him, it's like, what are you doing? You know, he's like, well, I still have legs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy that I have legs. I'm happy that I can move, and I'll do anything to do that, right? He has an office at the 2nd floor of his house and rings hanging in the kitchen. And the kettlebells in living room. You know? Like, even if he can't go anywhere, he will shot some muscle ups there and do some kettlebell work.
It does give you a drive, because like you said, you feel blessed. Like, I would go to New York and I would walk for 1 hour to go to this specific gym, and because I can, you know what I mean. I'll go to Al Qudra, I'll do the 50k cycle track because there's nothing wrong with my legs. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. You know
that quote from Peaky Blinders?
Which ones? Many?
Yeah.
There's too many good ones.
I'm going to tell you. When there was some dealing with the Italians, whatever, and John offended them, and Tommy came there for a family meeting, and he's like, burn their bars down, you know, like burn their places down. That. And Paulie is like, why? And he's like, why? Because we fucking can. and when we fucking can, we fucking do.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point, like what you're saying and what you're saying, like, we should really, really think about how blessed and happy we are that we can, and just fucking do it.
Exactly. Let's fucking do it.
Let's do it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And is there anything you want to add?
Remove Instagram.
Yeah. But you know, I changed, maybe I unfollowed people, but my Instagram seems so much better. But then I thought, oh, maybe Instagram's changed, but it's not changed. It's just who I decide to follow that's changed. You know what I mean? So just follow the right people.
Or follow yourself in the mirror. All you need is in the mirror. The power to change yourself is in the mirror. And also motivation and comparison go in the mirror, not on Instagram.
Yeah. And don't be jealous of other girls. Honestly, I'm not jealous of anybody. If someone is beautiful, like, wow, I'm happy for you. It's a blessing that you're beautiful. And
give them the power, right?
Empower one another. Exactly. We did a workout together during Women's Day, you remember? In Alcos. That was amazing. I guess Courtney told me more compliments that I've ever heard from any other guy. Bless you for that, because to get a compliment for other women,
that's not true.
Huh?
I wouldn't say something that's not true.
Right. But to get a compliment from another woman is something like 100% she's talking to you.
Is it rare?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I don't get compliments from girls, to be honest.
They jealous.
If I see something, I say it. Like, I saw your hair. I'm like, wow, your hair looks awesome, because it does. You know, like, you changed your hair.
Thank you.
Or if I see something
so before it was terrible, yeah?
It was a disaster. I'm joking. It was famous. But yeah, I just feel like we should be kinder to one another and don't hesitate to say something positive. You know what I mean? If you feel something, if someone looks good, if someone's doing well, then tell them, encourage them.
That will encourage them to do.
I think there's also one thing that Simon Sinek is talking about a lot, that one small act of kindness, whether it's like, I think he was saying example of somebody dropped some papers or something on the street and didn't notice it, and he picked it up and ran to that person. And it was like, you get a hormonal response from that.
Yeah.
Not only you, not only the person who did it, but also everybody who witnessed it. They were like, oh, that was so cool, you know? And so basically, yeah, like you do one compliment that can trigger a chain of action from other people. So yeah, let's change the world.
Let's do it. And I also feel like if the lady is insecure, she will never give compliments because she's maybe shy. That's what I've noticed from some of my clients. Like, but now the more confident they get, the more they're like, actually, I will say to my daughter, you know, she's gorgeous. And they've not even said to their daughter before that they're beautiful because they felt insecure.
It just came to my mind that we used to say this when we had somebody who was annoying, whether it was at school or between peers or even, you know, superior or a client, it doesn't matter. Like, if you have a problem with somebody, kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
You know, like overdo the kind. So if I'm too kind to you, you know, you're annoying me.
Oh my God. No, you've never been too kind to us.
Joking, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, like just don't like force it, but like try to fight it. Try to fight that fact that they are annoying, because you know, the people who are the hardest to love are the ones who need it the most, right? The same what we were talking about with your experience with the guy in the plane. Like, he really needed the support, and he was very hard to get it to because he was so on the edge, right?
Yeah.
And people were not aware.
Yeah. Cool. Guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you.
Thank you, Paolo.
Thank you, Paolo.